So free radicals aren't bad. They're going to make them no matter what. And that's, again, where the NanoVi plays a really critical role. So I want to get into that. But when you've been selling these machines for a really long time, and again, at first I think it was really hard to explain to people why to own one, but over time, what's happened? Like, who owns them and what kind of benefits? Like, why would an athlete own one, for example?
So when I first met you, very long time ago, you and the person we mentioned, Ken Nellikine, were some of the few pre-biohackers that were using devices and technologies for wellness. In other words, to maintain their health and to, promote longevity or slow aging. Since then, and at that time, our devices were almost all sold for chronic illness. Diabetics, COPD, heart disease, autoimmunes, all the autoimmune diseases, people that had Lyme disease, neurological disorders, all of them. I remember at one point I counted over 50 different chronic illnesses that, our device was being used for. Since
And
then,
helping, not just being used, but actually was
well,
critical.
since then it's a wonderful shift because it's where you were an absolute front runner. Now there's a whole group of people that have emerged that say, wait a minute, I want to preserve my health, I want to maintain it, slow the aging process, and certainly don't want to be old and sick. And so you're not going to get those chronic diseases. And it's been really fun because our device fits perfectly with those people. You just use it regularly. It's a preventative device. Yes, it's going to help you sleep better and feel more calm, because it definitely balances the autonomic nervous system, taking people out of stress mode. And then it also provides energy because all of the protein functions associated with energy production. And then the last piece that we've had more recently is performance. And one area, always athletes, they care about the recovery times. They care about oxygen utilization. When they improve that, they have better performance, reduced lactate, all these things that have been shown in double-blind studies. But what's really interesting to me is the brain performance in the last few years, how many people are looking at cognitive function and cognitive performance, wanting to prevent declines there or increase their focus and clarity. And that's a fairly obvious thing for people. If they're stressed, it's fairly easy to see, or if they've been highly focused, when you do that, put a lot of strain on your brain and there's a lot of repair to do. And your brain burns a great deal of oxygen. So you want to reduce that oxidative damage in the brain. And so that's been another area that people have become far more focused on in the last, I'd say, 2 years. You
Just
just
2 years, wow.
Mhm.
Yeah, I don't think I, became aware of that, but I don't worry about my brain not working, but probably that's why. But uh, although I became a long hauler after the third time I got COVID, and then I was having brain issues, like really hard to remember people's names and stuff. But anyway, that's past thanks to all
Yeah.
the things I did, and also my NanoVi. I really made sure I used it morning and night as much as I could. But so great for the brain. What about the immune system? Because we know, everybody knows by now, I think we've got the brain is having a huge impact on the microbiome and the gut. I also know that in case everybody doesn't know this by now, the spike protein, which was entering a particular receptor that we were always told about, we weren't told that as it enters this receptor, it damages that receptor. And so they're all over the body. So it's basically damaging all kinds of organs. And it pretty much shuts down the microbiome, destroys that. And at the same time, it wakes up a bunch of viruses that are living in these viral sanctuaries. They're maybe in a really healthy person quite quiet, but now they're out and they're causing a lot of problems. It also is an issue when you have yeast infections. It does, again, destroy the microbiome, but then also bring out a yeast infection. So a lot of people after they've had this infection are still suffering. So, would there be an impact on the microbiome, do you think? I mean,
There definitely is, in that it's going to support the immune system, and your the bulk of your immune system is in your microbiome. And so it definitely will help, and it helps with gut issues as well on its own. But again, it's the body really repairing itself, and you're giving it a little boost to help the body take care of its own issues. And a huge one, probably the foremost, is the immune system, is to fight off invaders. And so you definitely see that response in it. There are certain illnesses where the improvement is the gut is the first thing you see as the illness improves. And so it's pretty common that it's going to help the body sort itself out. It won't do anything or override anything. It's just that extra support lets the body do what it needs to do.
and I would think when people have diseases like Lyme disease and so on, it's doing the same thing. It's basically just supporting the body, making sure these proteins are folded properly, are corrected.
Yeah,
And when you do that, then all these other problems start to, you
yeah.
have the energy then to be able to get well.